Ever wondered what makes TV so powerful in Jamaica? Time to find out. Welcome to Global TV Group 358, where television meets innovation. We're not just about shows, we're about shaping society. In Jamaica, TV keeps you informed, connects diverse voices, and supports democracy. Imagine a Jamaica where broadcasters unite, sharing data and collaborating globally. That's us, a unified voice in the TV industry. Did you know TV advertising is still king? It drives website traffic, boosts brand equity, and powers integrated campaigns. Even in an age of digital, TV stands strong, resilient in tough times. Our global TV deck is your treasure trove of insights and data. With charts, graphs, and success stories, it's your guide to impactful TV advertising. Curious to learn more? Visit our website and see how Global TV Group 358 keeps television at the heart of entertainment in Jamaica. Get ready to binge watch the future.
Corruption is a vile disease that sucks and drains the health out of something good. Corruption in society is an evil moral infection that keeps community in the state of perpetual sickness. Corruption is a moral virus. It's so potent, it leaves its host sick, lethargic, and unable to realize and accomplish all that a well person can. Where corruption thrives, poverty and not prosperity thrives. Wealth is grabbed into the greedy, grubby hands of those who get fat on the toil and labor of good people. Corruption benefits, only temporarily, those who participate in it. Everyone else is a victim of the theft, the deceit, the dishonesty, and the lies that corruption feeds on. You need to know that a corrupt person is stealing from you. Corruption is filthy work and despicable acts of treachery done under the table and behind closed doors. Corruption is a disgusting shame. Corruption keeps a nation back from true development and from progress. Wise investors steer clear of a corrupt environment. They would rather put their resources into a place where the playing field of opportunity is equal for all and not bent towards feeding the financial lust of corrupt, lying, cheating, thieving politicians and government officials. How many wonderful development projects have been lost because the investors didn't want to do business in a swamp of evil? When those great projects go to another nation or to some other place, we all lose. Believe me when I tell you that corruption steals from you, it steals from all of us. Corruption plunders the nation's wealth. Corrupt people compromise on truth, equity, and fairness, choosing instead to feed off the short-term benefits of crookedness, exploitation, and financial perversion. Corruption is not just a personal matter, it's a culture. It's a way of life, not just for individual people, but for companies, communities, governments, and nations. Corrupt nations, hiding behind large companies, will seek to invest in other weak nations in order to take over the assets of the nation that they've invested into. They will provide financial loans to a nation for the much-needed infrastructure, and they will do it with assets that they provide. They will sign contracts by lining the pockets of rotten government officials who participate in this kind of corruption and are then held hostage by their own deceit and greed. Corruption is nothing less than a form of theft and national robbery. A corrupt person steals from everyone in society.
Run, keep going on, let's process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I shall never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war cry. Fight down. Me say Rastafari. War and cry. And do the righteousness. Hey, we love. I will love Jaja. I will love Jaja. And we love Jaja. We love Jaja. We love Jaja. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for Rastafari. Fight down war and fight. Fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and fight. And build up righteousness. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. And we love Jah. Rastafari. We love all. And we love Jah. Me love Jaja. Me love Jaja. Rastafari. Preserve all. Me love Jaja. Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
The push for a digital society, the push for a cashless society in an infrastructure that was never prepared, but is failing and will never be ready for the 2030 vision or the 2030 agenda. But it is being pushed on us slowly, peck. Will you stay quiet and rolled up yourself into a surveillance enslavement, a cashless controlled society? Are we serious to be so quiet about this digitalization in a post-Melissa risation? Good morning, everyone, and welcome. Thank you all for joining us. To my community of party and all my family members, platform moderators, membership holders, viewers, subscribers, commenters, and trolls. Good morning. Welcome. I don't know what happened last night. On my side, there was malfunctioning as well. Don't know what happened with the comments and all that jazz. It looks better this morning, so maybe the problem kind of clear up itself. But morning, everybody, and welcome. Onodo. Morning. Sorry for the late start. Me get up and have a urge for fried dumpling, fry eggplant and pear, as opposed to usually having my smoothies in the morning. So me did have to go cook longer breakfast. Debbie Jervis TV, good morning. Miranda Ruddock, Barbara Simpson, Wayne Evans, Lynette Jenkins, good morning. Lawrence Michaels, good morning. Abinasar Cody, Errol Reed, Blossom Riley, Marcia Thomas, Colin, Wayne Evans, Evan Miller, good morning. Is it Rockman? Good morning and welcome. Empress Deb, good morning. Winsome Campbell, good morning. Gloria Morris, good morning. Winifred Saunders, good morning. Denise Hilton, Gloria Morris. Who else there? Good morning. Sharon Johnson Walton, good morning. Marcia Thomas, Evan Bradford, Ladybug, Byron, Marcia Gale, The Easy Jerk World, Sophia Hall, Raymond G. Morning, everybody. Golda Watson, good morning. Good morning. Carol Gale, good morning. Morning, everybody. Are you ready for the digital society? A digital society where you'll be left to the mercy of the charities who stood up for Jamaica in the aftermath of Melissa, left to the mercy of the entertainers and the vloggers, because even if the shops have food, Andrea, even if the shops are open, no current, no reception, no, and you can't pay for food. Are we serious to accept this nonsense from Andrew Holness about digitalize digital? Digitalize what? We never had light. We've been promised power for 50 years and we're still waiting. And in the midst of waiting for power, this government say them roll out foreign things. Can we? Now, let me say this. I am opposed to a cashless society, but I welcome choices. Me, myself, I really don't touch money per se because I do everything, pay for everything. Just, you know how we just use the phone and tap and go. Barely ever touch my bank card or credit card most time. Barely. That doesn't mean, though, I want a society where I do not have the access to go to the bank and get cash or to get cash to purchase what I need to purchase, whether be I want to purchase in cash. Opal, how you do? Whether be I want to use cash to purchase or I want to just tap fast and move on where I don't have to wait for change or I don't want to interact with the germ of money. That's different from not having the access to money at all and how controlled things would be not having that access to money. Beside the electronic side of things, we are just not equipped for it. We're just not equipped. We can barely keep light on in our country for 1 week straight. Most Jamaicans would say backside fully talk about 1 day straight, a lot of communities in Jamaica, even before pre-hurricane, would say what you talk about. We would have like it on for a full day. We're going to go to our article. No, let's go to wholeness first. Because we must take you down memory lane and remind you of the bullness that this youth is forcing upon us, where people are asking to push our direction. It is not what our society is designed. In the coming weeks, our society is a heavily higgler-based society. It's a heavy corner shop-based society. Now, would a cashless digital society in a well technologically built out society be an encumbrance? Possibly not, because once you have proper phone reception and you have that little handheld device where we can tap with phone or a card pan, that's choice. But how much of those people can afford that system or have the capability to transfer over to that electronic system. But the bigger part of why we must stand up against this, our society is not equipped. We don't have a grid that can keep power on constantly without a disaster. It's not like that for us. It has never been like that for us. It has never been like that for us. Of course, we want advancement and certain levels of modernization. It must not, though, comes at any risk or disadvantage to us. And this digital society, especially the cashless part, I more have a problem with the cashless part than the digital part, because the world is going digital. The cashless, though, even Britain not ready to prepare for this thing where Andrew Holness I tell we to prepare for. Not even Britain already for it. Because you never see nobody pan them stall with electronic device or collect money. It's still a cash society when we go to the markets. Cash still used here. In all sorts of areas and business. Why Holness push this thing power when we barely can have light for a full day in our country? This thing goes with power and the telephone reception. You don't have power, you don't have signal, you cannot pay. You don't have power, you don't have signal, you cannot pay. You cannot pay, you cannot buy, you cannot buy, you cannot eat.
In the coming weeks, I will be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system.
We are well on our way to this. We have identified the national identification system. This is another thing as well, where the court slapped down the government with it. But the government still push it. Every storm, the government excuse is, so you know. And every storm, the government argument is only if people had the digital ID, we could identify them easier. They could access service easier. Bull. BUL Prime Minister. Nothing don't go so. It's the same way we see the government use, because in these rolled outs, Lossum Riley, in these rolled out, they start to target, they tend to target the young minds first. And let me tell you, when Britain was introducing this high-level bullshit, this was introduced to our children for years before nobody thought ramp up the argument about digital ID and them something that and cashless. Anybody have children going to secondary school here in England can tell you, long time now, Lovelock's doctor. Long time now, anybody have children going to secondary school, especially here. A long time with children them have their money on them finger. Finger, finger. They always start with the young mind. When they're ingrained in things, in society, they start with the young mind. Just like you see, just to sidetrack a bit here, just like you see in the transgender push, they target the young minds as well. When they need such a mass change in society, they always start with the mind who is likely to rebel further down the road. So you ingrained it within them. So you prevent a rebellion further down the road because it becomes normalized to them. Now, let's go to the school bus system. It's not sidetracking. We are still on track. The school bus system and the fare discount. It's that process also of normalizing the digitalization, the cashless system to our children. If you don't understand it to be so, it's exactly so. So we know to grasp up these things without understanding the down the road implication to some of these nonsense. Let's listen to the idiot one more time.
In the coming weeks, and days, I'll be making certain announcements regarding the acceleration of Jamaica's intention to become a fully digital society. We are well on our way to this. We have established the national identification system. We have put in place our digital currency. We have given directions to our ministries to digitalize their operations. Most of our ministries are now moving from paper-based systems to digital systems. Our military is transitioning. The society is moving very quickly, very rapidly to become digital. Our banking consumers are seeing it as well because the banks are moving very rapidly to digital. You have something now called artificial intelligence. Very soon, this position of a human being exchanging cash and so on, that is going to disappear from the banking system very soon. And you are going to have to interface with machines. I don't want it to be a scary thought, but it is a thought that we all have to embrace.
It's a thought, he said, that we will all have to embrace. What is going on here? When I hear me still, though, it's a thought we all have to embrace. We're not equipped for this thing. We will never be equipped for this thing. Because them are promised with simple light. They are promising us simple light for the last how much years, and we don't get it. We have not received it. We still a struggle in the dark. Look at the effects of Beryl and Melissa. How long it take not to be a light post not live up in a party yet. So if a digital society party people would have still had their hand check out every vehicle pass. So we can't buy. We must not entertain it. We don't have a society equipped for it. Even equipped societies like Europe, America, we don't know about China. These places are still using cash. And for our government to be forcing us into a corner where our country is not equipped for, it is a dangerous control mechanism. It is a dangerous control mechanism where government are push we into. And under no circumstances, we must not accept it. Because if we accept it, it will be to our detriment. What we must stand up and tell our government, we need choices. We want to be able to pay by cash. We want to be able to use our cards and pay. We want to still be able to withdraw cash and put it in our wallet, because people
Warning,
still
people
beg
of
with
Jamaica.
money and we still have to give people money. So all the people them will beg money and go survive. Them have to have a digital system. So me don't know. We must not accept it. The court already tell we say needs are slavery, needs a dictatorship. Because the way all the prime minister want to push needs, you couldn't access no government service, not even to apply for a passport or a birth certificate if you don't have needs. That was the implication of needs. You wouldn't be able to apply for your birth certificate. You wouldn't be able to apply for your passport. You wouldn't be able to apply for your TRN. You wouldn't be able to access any government service without the galangen. Denise, I see where Melissa has pushed. I have been talking about the solar power for a long time, telling Jamaicans you need to independently go solar, because the government nor the multi-conglomerate corporations will never introduce solar in our system, because what am I going to get for rob? What them a go get for rob and thief? If them roll out solar in our country, them foot come off our neck. The foreign company where Darrell Vaz and Andrew Holness take up with 150 million US dollar lend where they would be out of a job. So them now go introduce solar at any time where it will be a beneficial to the Jamaica people. What Jamaica people have to do, as I've always said, and people keep going out there with this nonsense, but solar is solar expensive for getting, so what? It's expensive to pay for the light where you now get every month, same way. 6 or 1, half dozen is the other. Invest in a solar panel. The money is sometimes only we take borrow money by car or bank, borrow by solar panel. Because when you have solar panel, you can run your business from your yard and have light for run your business where you pay back your loan and buy your car over time. And we, the people of Jamaica, going to have to take up solar in our hand and make sure, say, we strangle the multi-conglomerates. We sit down. Why you think the government? Why you think the government make sure people hold string now? Panda new meter system. Because them a corner everybody. And only the rich can afford solar in Miranda Raddock. You can start with the small package, and then you continue buy one panel to provide you more. But we cannot look at the price, and let me tell you why we cannot look at the price. Anyway, we forget the money a month time pay JPS for the extortionate what they're not providing us. We have to pay them. Big borrower steal. We have to pay them. During Melissa, I was said, just go on Amazon, go look on the complete standard generator system. People can start with those, and then over time, you buy one panel, add to it. Make a muckle. We have to start little, because the money what we have spent a month time on JPS, we know it don't worth it. We know it don't worth it. But in the long run, glorious way, how you do? In the long run, when you cut off your nose and spite your face to get the solar installed, in the long run, you save more money in your pocket. In the long run, when the government system is down, you still up and running. We have to think strategically, people. It's coming to a time where we're going to have to go to mountains, go live. It's coming to a time where we're going to have to live in a forest and desert. Because the digital society that they're creating is a system of enslavement. Is the modern all-out enslavement. It's the modern control. They control your money. They control what you eat. They control what you have access to. We cannot sleepwalk into these things, people. This is not a thing where we can fight we way out of like how we fight we way out of shackle slavery, you know. What we can do though, we can make strategic planning for them. We can make strategic planning. Start sacrifice yourself and buy with Starlink put down and buy with solar panel put down. That's when we live in a mountain and bush. We can still have connection to the rest of the world, but we don't have to be controlled by those who control it. We have to think strategic, because if we don't, we're going back into slavery. And remember, say, this is not time when people have spirit and tenacity to fight to get out of slavery. When we're going at this level of slavery, every other generation will burn into it and succumb to it. So know what you are doing. Telling about modernity and modernization, then kill the human spirit and then kill the social life.
Warning people of Jamaica. Say no to NIDS.
So there's something big happening to the world right now that almost no one is talking about. And I think in the long term, this is going to change the way we all live our lives. And I'm talking about digital ID.
This government will make a new free of charge digital ID mandatory for the right to work by the end of this Parliament. Let me spell that out. You will not be able to work in the United Kingdom if you do not have digital ID.
Now, it might sound like it has nothing to do with economics or finance, and maybe it sounds boring, but the truth is, this is one of the most important changes that governments are pushing right now, and it's happening almost everywhere at the exact same time. In the US, at least 25 states have already launched digital driver's license programs. That means you can now pull out your phone instead of your wallet when you check into a flight, for example. And in Europe, they passed a law last year that makes it a requirement for all member countries to roll out a national digital ID wallet by 2026. In China, they just launched their version this summer, which links it to their social credit system. Countries like South Korea, Singapore, Nigeria, the United Arab Emirates are already doing this with their digital IDs. Now, you might have heard of digital IDs before, but I don't think most people really understand what it is because it's not being debated or talked about in Congress. It's not really trending on CNBC. And most people probably don't even realize that this is actually happening. But what's interesting, though, is that the United Nations has made it one of their goals, quote, legal identity for all by 2030. And the people funding it, of course, the World Economic Forum and the World Bank. And now Europe and the US are writing all of this into law. In just the last decade, the number of national digital ID programs have doubled. Today, over 100 countries either have one or are building one right now. And when I first thought about it, at least on paper, it sounds kind of nice. It promises to cut down on fraud and make travel easier, and it onboards about 1 billion people who don't have any legal ID. But once you look into how much power this will give the governments of the world, you're going to be shocked. Once your entire identity is digital, Whoever controls that ID can control a lot of power. And I don't think RFK Jr. is exaggerating when he said that this is turnkey totalitarianism.
It lays the groundwork for global medical surveillance of every human being.
So in today's video, I want to help explain exactly what this is, how it's going to work, how it's going to tie into our financial lives, and what you should be prepared for. So with that said, let's get into it. Hi, my name is Andre Jick. Hope you're doing well. Cover the finance and stay for digital IDs. So before I get into the details of how governments are planning to roll this out, let me first explain what a digital ID actually is, because I think when most people hear that, they just imagine it's a picture of your driver's license saved to your phone. And it kind of is that, but it's also a lot more than that. So a digital ID is a secure electronic form of ID that verifies who you are. Usually it's built on top of an app on your phone, and inside that app is all your personal information, which is then verified by a trusted authority like a company or a government. But there is a big difference between the physical version and the digital one, because digital IDs use something called biometric data, which are things like your facial recognition or fingerprints, with cryptographic encryption, so they're a lot harder to fake. And once you've been verified, that ID becomes reusable. That means you don't have to keep handing over your passport or your license to different companies, or even go to the DMV. You can just share that specific piece of information that they need. So for example, if a bar needs to know that you're over 21, the app could just say, yes, this person is old enough, without necessarily revealing your exact details, your birthday, or your full ID number. So on paper, it sounds like a convenient thing to have. It's more secure, there's less information floating around, so less chance for fraud. But as you're about to find out, you're going to realize that when you centralize that much power, the question becomes, what can they do with it? Because while governments and tech companies present this as a convenient and secure thing to have, the actual way it's already being used in some countries is a very different story.
We're constantly watching and recording everything that's going on. Citizens will be on their best behavior because we're constantly recording and reporting everything that's going on.
Take China, for example. Just this summer, they launched their national digital ID app. But instead of it just being an upgrade from physical to digital, they tied it to their social credit system. That means their digital ID is not just proof of who they are, their financial history, travel rights, online activity. So what that means is, if the government doesn't like what they're doing, or doesn't like what they're saying online, or maybe what they're buying, they could restrict your ability to travel, to buy those things, or to access certain social services.
After being sued for defamation by the subject of a story he'd written, he was blacklisted. He only realized when he tried to buy a train ticket and was told he was banned from traveling.
If you didn't get a vaccine that the government mandated, sorry, you can't use public transportation.
They would immediately detect that and send you a notification, and they would deduct money from your what they call WeChat account. They use two main apps, WeChat and Alipay. So you can actually deduct your money directly from your account.
There were reports of elderly people and workers who were denied food and pensions because their fingerprint scanners stopped working. So if the system doesn't recognize you, you don't get food. That's kind of crazy.
I have to pass facial recognition identity verification, which is insane because all I want to do is just spend my gift card balance on this debit card.
These are real world examples of how powerful and dangerous this can be when your whole identity is digital. And this is just scratching the surface. Before I tell you how these systems can really be abused, what I found really interesting is just how fast they're putting these systems into place. Once you start to really think about it, the same features that makes it all convenient are also the same features that will be abused for power. And here's exactly why we should be extremely concerned. Once you centralize identity into one system, yes, you do make it easier for people to prove who they are, but you also make it easier for governments and corporations and special interests to track and control people. We've already seen governments weaponize financial access against their own citizens, and you're going to see this happen in three specific areas: government power, corporate power, and surveillance. So the first example, government power. If you remember in 2022, during the Freedom Convoy protests in Canada, the government used emergency powers and ordered banks to freeze accounts linked to protesters. They targeted regular people who donated money through GoFundMe. And overnight, citizens were locked out of their own savings. There was no trials, there were no court rulings, no one was convicted of any wrongdoing. It was just because they supported the wrong cause. There was also Georgia earlier this year, where Amnesty International reported that the government froze the bank accounts of NGOs and lawyers who were providing legal aid to protesters. And their crime was offering support to people exercising their right to protest. So with the click of a button, the government just silenced people by cutting off access to their money. And under existing anti-money laundering laws, this is super easy to justify because banks are required to freeze or flag accounts that they suspect have unusual activity. But what counts as unusual activity and who gets to decide that? That could mean transferring money to buy Bitcoin. It could mean donating to a protest movement. It could even mean participating in the boycott of a company that the government wants to protect. None of this has to be proven illegal in court. As long as they have suspicion, that is enough. And that's a very scary thing. Now, the second place you're going to see this power is corporate power. Again, Amazon and Uber and other companies are already experimenting with digital IDs. But once it becomes the standard, it will stop being just identification. It will become what some people call a super cookie, right? Like, think about how a website uses cookies to track your browsing and sell you ads, right? But now apply that across your entire identity. That opens the door to something called dynamic pricing. And that's a shareholder's dream, by the way. Here's how it's going to work. Think about how airports charge us like $20 for a sandwich or a bottle of water. Why? Because they know you're trapped. You're not going to leave the airport, get an Uber, and eat somewhere else, and then come back through security. You are stuck. That is a very simple form of dynamic pricing. But imagine if that logic gets supercharged by digital IDs. Let's say your ID app shows that you just got off a 10-hour flight, right? The system knows where you've been. It knows your wallet balance. It knows you're hungry. So the algorithm decides, that person is stressed and they will probably pay more. And then boom, your sandwich is $25 instead of $12. But the person next to you might pay less just because that system thinks they're more price sensitive. They can tolerate $15, but not $1 more. Ticketmaster, for example, already uses dynamic pricing, where the same ticket can jump in price minute by minute based purely on demand. Now imagine, though, if your digital ID shows you've searched for, Taylor Swift tickets 5 times this week. The algorithm knows you are more likely to pay more, so your price gets pushed higher than someone else's. Airlines already do this. Or think about car insurance. Right now, companies use broad categories, right? But with digital ID, they could see your exact driving history, your Uber ride logs, where you hang out, all based on its ability to digitally track exactly where you are and where you've been. And you don't get to negotiate any of this because the system already knows too much about you. That's the corporate power risk. And then, of course, there's one more. The third place this power will show up in is surveillance and security. Some digital driver's license apps in the US already have what's called a phone home feature. That means every time you use your ID at a bar, at an airport, or a hotel, it pings a government database. So now, instead of just being a harmless ID, the government now has a time-stamped log of everywhere you go and everything you do in real time. If you add in central bank digital currencies on top of all that, which are already being tested, as well as an API that companies can pay to access, and it's not really that hard to imagine a programmable like money that is tied to your biometrics. That gives the government the ability to program dollars that maybe stop working at certain stores for certain purchases, or even dollars that expire after a certain update. It's all up to their discretion. But it gets worse when you consider data breaches. India's Aadhaar system, for example, which is the biggest digital ID program in the world, has already had multiple leaks. Sensitive information from 1 billion people, including biometrics, was exposed. But here's the problem. Once your fingerprint or your facial scan or your iris is leaked or it's sold, you can't reset it like a password. It doesn't work that way. If the system is trying to protect us from fraud or illegal immigration, then the current system that we have today should be working, but it's not. So an extra layer of this identification is going to do very little to stop it.
Why do you think that them having a digital ID, having to have a digital ID would stop that problem when right now people are meant to have a national insurance number and card, and if they're not asked for that, a boss is willing already to break the rules? What's the difference going to be?
It's exactly right. If they're not willing to ask for their current credentials, what makes them think a digital ID will do anything to change that? And he didn't really have a good answer for that because there is no good answer. So if we allow this to happen, I think it's going to fundamentally change the balance of power between people, governments, and corporations, and not for the better, unfortunately. But yes, it will be more convenient for people, as long as you don't get out of line or say something someone doesn't like.
All that digital ID will be is a means of controlling the population, of telling us what we can and can't do, of fining the innocent. And didn't we see it all when we had the pandemic, when you had to have vaccine ID to travel, to do various things? Did that stop the COVID pandemic spreading? Did it? Hell, all it did was put cost and inconvenience on everybody else. I also worry about massive data banks being held by the government, being hacked by foreign governments, by private companies, by criminals. I do not see a single benefit to the government having digital ID other than them controlling what we do, what we spend, and where we go.
It's a crazy world we live out there. And I swear, the older I get, the more I'm starting to become like that one crazy paranoid uncle. And I know how all of this sounds, and I get how it sounds like fear-mongering, but as they say,
the reason why we continuously bring you these information is so none of us is caught off guard. We are aware of what is coming, but more so, we are aware of the implications of what is coming and what we can possibly do, the strategic moves that we can make. We can't just sit down to Jamaica. The world is reacting to this thing, and we just go on like a foreign way got done. We're moving into forever slavery. We're giving, if we accept this in the way they're pushing it, it will give up our powers to them completely. We might as well just prepare to die, because life wouldn't be worth living. If you have to live like a cage hen, it's better off we die and go and but with business in a peace. So you can't say you never hear. You can't say we're not constantly and continuously a one. Oh no. Let's go to the article we did on the whole digital ID bull crap of Andrew Holness and them JAM-DEX and the nonsense where we can't afford, we don't have a system or infrastructure for it, but them are pushy.
The digital mirage, critically assessing Jamaica's readiness for a cashless society post-Hurricane Melissa. In the wake of Hurricane Melissa, the conversation surrounding Jamaica's transition to a digital cashless economy has reached a critical crossroad. While the Bank of Jamaica and Governor Richard Byles continue to champion JAM-DEX, the nation's central bank digital currency, as the cornerstone of a modern, efficient financial system, the harsh reality of a fractured physical and digital infrastructure suggests that the island is far from ready. The recent push for digital adoption, spearheaded by initiatives often discussed across platforms like GTV, faces a massive wall of economic, psychological, and structural resistance. The conflict of priorities, innovation versus survival. The recent friction between the BOJ and the Jamaica Bankers Association highlights a fundamental disconnect. Governor Byles has criticized deposit-taking institutions for their slow rollout of JAM-DEX, urging a shift toward a less cash-dependent society. However, the JBA's response paints a picture of a banking sector forced to choose between visionary digital projects and the immediate practical needs of a population recovering from a natural disaster. In a post-Hurricane Melissa environment, banks are prioritizing the restoration of basic services. The JBA noted that substantial investment is required to integrate JAM-DEX into core systems. For a nation with broken infrastructure, these finite technological and financial resources are currently being diverted to more urgent daily transactions and customer convenience. This includes ensuring cash availability at ABMs and enhancing the reliability of the real-time gross settlement and automated clearinghouse systems. When the power grid is unstable and cell towers are down, a digital wallet is useless, a physical banknote is not. The infrastructure gap, a digital house of cards. A truly cashless society requires 3 pillars: universal internet connectivity, a stable power grid, and high-tech point-of-sale systems. Hurricane Melissa exposed the fragility of all 3. The BOJ has urged banks to upgrade POS machines to accept digital currency, but the business case for this remains weak. The JBA argues that these expenditures must be weighed against other technology investments that deliver immediate and measurable value. In many rural and storm-hit areas, the infrastructure is simply not robust enough to support a 24/7 digital-only ecosystem. Without a plan B for when the digital grid fails, forcing a cashless transition could leave the most vulnerable citizens, those without high-end smartphones or reliable data plans, completely disenfranchised during a national crisis. The psychology of trust and low demand. Beyond the wires and servers lies the issue of public trust. The JBA observed very limited customer uptake, even among institutions with large client bases. This trend is consistent with global patterns, but is amplified in Jamaica by a cultural reliance on cash. In the aftermath of a hurricane, cash is the ultimate failsafe. It requires no electricity, no signal, and no middleman. While GTV and other media outlets may highlight the convenience of digital payments, the average consumer remains skeptical. The integration costs for banks are high, and the perceived value for the consumer remains low. As long as the broken infrastructure makes digital access intermittent, the Jamaican public will continue to view cash as the only reliable medium of exchange. The critical requirements dilemma. The JBA also pointed out that banks are currently mandated to migrate to the ISO 20022 messaging standard, a massive technical undertaking. With limited technical talent and capital, the forced adoption of JAM-DEX is viewed by some as an additional burden rather than a solution. For Jamaica to be truly equipped, the focus should perhaps shift from forcing a digital currency to first hardening the underlying infrastructure that makes such a currency possible. Conclusion: a premature push. Is Jamaica equipped for a digital cashless future? The evidence suggests that while the ambition is there, the foundation is missing. Hurricane Melissa served as a grim reminder that a digital economy is only as strong as the physical cables and power lines that support it. Until the broken infrastructure is rebuilt with redundant, disaster-resilient technology, and until the cost of adoption for both banks and merchants is lowered, JAM-DEX will likely remain a secondary tool rather than a primary solution. For now, Jamaica's path to a cashless society must be a slow walk, not a sprint, ensuring that no citizen is left in the dark when the next storm hits. Do you believe the Bank of Jamaica should offer financial incentives to citizens to encourage the switch to JAM-DEX, or should the focus remain solely on infrastructure repair?
Tell the Prime Minister, take JAM-DEX and shove it. JAM-DEX must be an added choice, not the alternative or the be-all and end-all. It must be an added choice. Give us more choice. Don't take away our powers, because that is what a cashless society will do. Take away our powers. We must not tolerate it. We mustn't go on, like I say, as something we're going to benefit us. Simple, because it make our life a little bit easier at the payment point. Think about what you will be giving up to just make your life a little easier at the payment point. We are in a dangerous period, my people. I know Jamaica want to push it, and the world will push it. It's a part of the 2030 agenda. It's a part of the one world government agenda. It's a part of the mark of the beast agenda. On a dirty Christian, on so silence to the ungodlyism of this world. When you sell out, you see, when you sell out more on the politician and the news and the mainstream media, you know. Because them teach you from where God church, them are stone it in a way say, a Christians are going to stand in the last days. Aren't we in the last days? Because you say when them are push the mark of the beast, at them the time of last days have come. So what no last days patronage there? So the word go? No. Patriotism. What no last days patriotism there? What no there? Because we not sown up on the battlefield. We not left ungodly sod like me out here. Ungodly sod like me out here to be standing on the battle line. And no Christian politician and bankers pay on if they don't talk. And then they would want to see me in the street and introduce God to me. Who are you talking about when you're introducing God to me? That is what I would really want to know. Who on earth are you talking about? Kind of confusing, especially on the Jehovah Witness. Confused than uno on oneself. Jehovah Witness coming like suicide bomber when it comes to blood transfusion. They rather die than be saved. Man, no more with enough religious denomination bullshit. Because it's the bullshit that we faster and conjure up. It leave with a spiritual dead, you know. When you know say we spiritual dead, when me tell you say when me walk around I just dead people, me I say, what do you think it mean? Spiritually dead people. Well, all we want to do is make life easier. We prefer microwave than what I see a thing in England where people will cook rice in a microwave. I don't know how it works. I really don't know how you cook rice in microwave, but people do it. And these are the little easy life where they can kill off with self. These are the little easy life where they can give over with powers to them for just like an easy life. So like an easy life, you know. And then when we hand you over for the easy life become a barrier and a burden. Are we really serious that we are so quiet of the ungodly world that we live in? And we have so much Christian who walk and collect offerings Saturday and Sunday? You all need to stop the offering collecting and company battlefield junkers. You junkers in the church. You junkers in on the pulpit and in the congregation. You need to step out of the synagogue of Satan and come on the battlefield. Because out here so there, you know. I be a fucker going in the church. When you not abuse we, when you a thief and we not tell we lie and a brainwash we. Come out here, so. Out here so it a go on. When you not see? Talk truth. If you not see out here so it a go on. Why you not left it to we alone? All this time, we not teach, we say, a Christian I got turn up in the last days. Christian, we not come, we not the back of we are in front of we come on the field. Me not care where we come as long as we not there on the field. Come out of the churches, man. Come out of the churches. This is why the world is so burdened. This is why the world is so burdened. Because on a church no better than Epstein. You know, we wouldn't be surprised if only on a pastor party at the Epstein Island. When a pastor wouldn't apply private jets and yachts, swimming pools and mansions. Come out on the battlefield. Enough is enough now. The bloody thief in every day. The bloody abuse every day. And no war there for fight. And you hold on. Sit down and wait for pay on to fight war. What can go so? Mariga not teeth choke me. But what can go so Jamaica? Jamaica, we are living in the best and the worst time. How the best part go? We're living in the best time, as in we've never had information so leisurely and available ready to us. How the worst time part of it come in? We have become more spiritually dead. The more information is presented to us, the more we go into hope and faith. And hope and faith in this world is about nothing at all, you know. Hope and faith is thin air. Because all you do, you hope and have faith, and then God will do the rest of it. You know, think that old man tired. You will get up every day, blame God or the devil, or wait upon God and blame the. You're not tired, you're not sorry for the two old man. Talk truth. If I did phone a grandfather and everybody get up, sit down and wait upon no two old grandpa to come solve them problem, or blame your old grandpa for the problem where them get up and put themselves in. You're not sorry for the two old man. Start do for yourself. Leave the two old man out of it. A long time they name a call up. A long time they name a call up. And no, we don't see none of them come and say nothing. Leave the two old man out of it. A time for we get involved now. It's going down amongst us. It's going down and we are feeling the effects of it. Imagine when more of our power is being handed over. They might as well put the chain them back on with foot and hand. The Americans never take them off anyway, because they still have them pan prisoner, and them still have them pan with pocket. Them still have them pan everything. And Sita come here now. And you are handing over yourself, people. You're not standing up, you're not pushing back, you're not asking any question. I mean, if we stay silent, we're still gonna die or still gonna be controlled. If we make a lot of noise, we're still gonna be controlled or still gonna die. I want to continue to knock on the cell door. Nobody not sleeping here tonight. Unless we have peace. Yeah. So we don't feel make the fear of anything tap with and talk or ask question. Jeffrey Epstein people them still a walk around. Jeffrey Epstein people them still in a power and no silence. Imagine. Imagine how no silence. As a child, Prince Andrew, I tell you, can't do this to me. I'm the Queen's son. Dwayne Vaz, morning. I trouble them, I trouble you, or I dopey them on you. I don't know. I'm just asking. This is just a question, Dwayne Vaz. Is it that them are trouble you or dopey them on you? Which one? Can be a pure just a follow your soul. Is it Dwayne Vaz or dopey set on you? Which one?
Dwayne Vaz, Member of Parliament for Central Westmoreland. Today I attended the Savlamara police station following reports on social media alleging that I was involved in an altercation in which a male individual was assaulted. At the station, I was advised by the police constable that a report had been made alleging assault occasioning actual bodily harm. In accordance with the police procedures, I was offered bail on my own surety. I categorically state that I did not assault anyone. On February 22, 2026, I attended an event at Newmarket Oval along with colleagues. During the event, I became aware of a commotion and observed two men on the ground in what appeared to be a fight. One of the men was my driver and the other the complainant. I, along with other persons present, intervened and successfully separated the men. The complainant, who is known to me, subsequently left the location on a bicycle. My driver sought medical attention and is in possession of a medical report. Both the complainant and my driver have since been charged. I categorically state that I was not involved in any assault, and that I am innocent of all charges laid against me. I have made myself fully available to assist the police with their investigations.
Labor Right and PNP men who regularly fight over politics. Half the time, uno man will fight over politics. Uno armpit smell like Ramgo tying down no arm. When Jamaica big man them and big woman them are go come out of the fuckery, are fighting over Andrew Holness and Mark Golden, and fighting over Labour and PNP. When we are going to see there's no benefit in it for us. When we are going to see for them 200% rise salary, our 20% rise is no match to them. We can't continue to make ourselves enemies of each other while politicians pay themselves handsomely. They dine together, they party together, they socialize together, and they laugh at us together. When we are going to wake up, it is a sad situation. It is a sad situation to see how we can come to understand a patriotic or a national understanding of politics. We can wake up to see PNP and Labour now go carry through in the way how it's structured and the way how we deal with them. It's only served to benefit them. Trust me, all the proof is there. Just look back at the 50 years of promises we have from our politicians and the delivery on those promises for the last 50 years. They all have to hang their head in shame, even though they don't have none. We're just gonna play some of this video. But Jamaica, we can talk, hear me say, hear me tell you say, start find one African country where you want live and bring up on children. Because all we demonize Africa and all that, How much African country you hear had a violent statistic, barring those who have certain war zone within it? African people no fear of going back home because of violence in their community, We then something that affect. One or two person murder for the year in a place like Gambia is a shocking, outrageous thing. One or two people been murdered in Gambia for the year is an alarming thing. Alarm and outrage. They're not used to it. People don't just get up, kill people so needlessly. People don't get up and kill children and women so. No, I know there's some places where the terrorism are in certain zones of Africa. That's a different thing. But comparing on the issues of violence we have in our communities, violence in our society, the murder and rape in our society. So I don't know what this John Crow call we say if we come back home, can live. Tell road if you stop, that's where you pick them and breathe more. And maybe that can help the population. Can not have money to look after all heap of picking. We not have it. Who know 200% can breed like a rabbit. We have to breed like elephant once in a while. Oh.
So the Jamaican government have decided that they're going to sell off Jamaica to non-Jamaicans. Okay? So right now here in Montego Bay, they have these 4 buildings that went up, the highest buildings ever in Jamaica. I think they're 28 stories. And they sold the land, this beautiful parcel of land, it looks kind of like a peninsula, to 2 brothers who immigrated to Jamaica, right? And in their synopsis, they said like, oh, you know, we left China to make our fortune and we migrated to Jamaica, and we are building these hotels, and they're not hotels. If I'm not mistaken, they're going to be apartment buildings, right? So they migrated to Jamaica for a better life for themselves and for their families. They were able to convince the Jamaican government. They sat in a room with Jamaican politicians.
For years, Ladybug, for years.
And they convinced the Jamaican government that Jamaica should be turned into Miami Beach, South Beach. It should be turned into Rio de Janeiro. It should be turned into Panama. It should be turned into a concrete jungle. Jamaica is not a cosmopolitan city, nor should it be. Jamaica is an amazingly beautiful island that has an incredible powerhouse of energy that is mind-blowing for anyone who is a human being and in touch with their feeling. You can feel that energy that's emitting from Jamaica. So frightened for what is going on in Jamaica, because I'm sure that this isn't the only parcel of land that they've sold off to foreigners. They're going to basically start, which I'm sure they've already done, chopping up Jamaica and selling it off, and not to the Jamaicans. When they sell it off to foreigners, they're basically going to turn it into kind of like Hawaii, right? But the difference between Hawaii and Jamaica is that Hawaii was stolen from the Hawaiians by the Americans. It was colonized, right? The Americans came in, they're like, you know what? We really like your island. It's fucking gorgeous and we want it. And so they basically went in and they strong-armed the Hawaiians. They forbade the Hawaiians to speak their language. They basically eliminated the natural language of Hawaii. And so the Hawaiians had to speak English, and they basically stole the people's land. So now Hawaiians can't afford to buy land in their own country. They cannot. A lot of them are homeless. So the difference is that Jamaica was not colonized. Well, it was, but we got our independence. And we got our independence only to get these crooked politicians to come in and decided that, you know what, it's a fucking brilliant idea that we start selling off Jamaica, and we're going to make sure that Jamaica is studied all over the island. We're going to start having these ridiculous high-rise buildings in Jamaica, right? It's going to mar the beauty. It's going to mar the energy. And I'm sure that when they sat in that room, those politicians, they were given a huge kickback. We will never know what the kickback is, right? Obviously, we know that it's money, but we don't know, do they have a deal that for the next 20 years, they get a percentage of the profit of these places that they're selling off, plus the kickback upfront? Whatever it is, the Jamaicans are not benefiting from it, right? The population of Jamaica, because basically they're going to be working in these buildings. So basically they're going to be making a substandard living, right? They're not going to be profiting. So they're cutting up Jamaica and they're selling it off to foreign people. I'm going to be very curious to see all the countries that they're selling off Jamaica to. And the fact of the matter is that the government of Jamaica represents Jamaica. So if they want to do anything like to sell off the island of Jamaica, the Jamaicans should have a say in it. They should have a say in it. Who gets the island and how much of the island is gotten, right? It's not as if they're sitting down and say, okay, you know what happened? We're going to, sure, you can come in and you can invest, but we will give you, you can basically have the land for, I don't know, 100 years. And after 100 years, it reverts back to Jamaica, like how they do in England, right? They did that. Right, people could come in and they could have the place for like 100 years or blah blah blah, but then it would revert back to the English. Anyhow, let me not go off on a tirade. But what I want to say is that the thing about Jamaica that makes Jamaica incredibly special is that there is something about Jamaica. The energy in Jamaica is potent. It is unfucking believable. So now you're going to start putting up these high rise all over the island. It's going to be studied, and you're going to have little patches and pieces of land with greenery on it. But the majority of Jamaica is going to now look like a fucking city. And I'm telling you that the people that are living in Jamaica, the people that are buying up all of Jamaica, they're going to get the best pieces of property, right? They're going to get the best pieces of property. And then the Jamaicans are going to be left with these little rinky dinky areas to live in. It's not happening. Jamaica is rich in minerals, it's rich in agricultural potency, and the terrain is amazing for growth. Those politicians basically should be sitting around in a room, figuring out and brainstorming and coming up with ideas to make Jamaica self sufficient so that the Jamaicans can thrive and that they don't have to leave the islands. Because let me tell you something, Jamaica is in the top 10 countries of countries which are poached for their intellectual population. So England comes to Jamaica regularly and they basically take as many teachers as they can get out of Jamaica and they bring them to England. They get as many nurses and as many medical population as they can and they bring them to England. And one of the things that they do to make it very, very, very attractive is that they give them free housing for 5 years. 5 years. So the Jamaicans work and they don't have to pay rent and they can save their money, but I'm sure they work them to the fucking T. Do you think that those Jamaicans really wanted to leave Jamaica? No, but the Jamaican government is not providing enough wealth within the country to properly pay for those doctors and nurses and teachers. And so, of course, these other countries are aware of this. And so they come and these Jamaicans and take them out of Jamaica. England have decided that they're not going to educate their peasants, right? They're not going to educate the working class, the lower middle class, the middle class, right? They just can't be bothered with that. It's easier for them to come to a place like Jamaica and get the brains that they need and bring them to their country. And the government is aware of that. Jamaica is not Miami Beach. It's not Copacabana. It's not Panama. It is not a first world country, nor does it want to be a fucking first world country. All of this in the background that you're seeing behind that hotel, these ridiculous, monstrous buildings, all of this land there is going to be riddled with high rise. That is what the Jamaican government is doing. And the Jamaicans should find out who it is that's signing off on these deals. And the Jamaicans should have a say with what's going on with their island. This is outrageous. It's unacceptable. It's disgusting. I am so grossly, grossly, grossly disappointed about what's going on with my beautiful, beautiful island because of the bunch of crooks that they have masquerading as politicians when in reality they're just goddamn crooks who does not give a shit about their country and about their people. All they care about is the fucking money. Money and fucking power. And then their plan is to totally destroy this beautiful, beautiful paradise and to totally sell off the entire island to foreigners, where Jamaicans are in substandard positions and in subservient positions. People, get it together. Get it together.
They call it governance, but it is organized theft. They get our land, and in return, we have to turn around, clean up them shit, piss and vomit. Yeah? Ladybug, the war will get bigger, you know. Because you see all of them land here with China get in a Jamaica. Them rich land ya we have mineral pan it. Donald Trump and Marco Rubio no want them pan it. We been warning Jamaica for how long about the geopolitical war where come the sad bumble cloud part of it today and nobody no recognize the danger. Me go on about my business this man because I cuss this man in. If I go for cuss in anger this morning, so I come go on about my business. You understand? Because nobody knows the danger and nobody not care about the danger. A few we just out here make up useless nice. So I go on. Me I go on. But I hope when the calamity present itself on the doorway, catch you out pan the ball field, a kick round and a play you know. Oh no, all right. Wait till you reach your doorway. Anyway, I come go on about my business because I don't see why I'm not angry, no. I don't know why I'm not angry. I don't know why Jamaicans are not angry to the point where they want to hold the thing and turn it over. Because if to say our blood, our sweat and tears, and if we end up so, just so, and we no hold you and turn you over, go on about your business, yeah? Go on about your business. Next thing they go say your insight, this and your insight, that, and all sort of fuckery. But go on about your business. Jamaica isn't angry. The world isn't angry. So what? I don't pay talk to me then. No. I don't pay play with me, make me angry so. We don't go on here, people. We come back later because the world not see the danger. The world don't see the danger. The world are wait till you fall in the pit. Then we try to climb on each other's shoulder. No. Tap on my shoulder if you come back up, you know. No. Tap on my shoulder if you come back. Una turn down the peacefully. Because when we're in a one, if you come out here and play labor right politics and play PMP politics and left Jamaica just in the dark. So, not so you go. If you come out here every day and with the one market G and with the one PM, what about the one Jamaica though? Have you seen our condition as a country, as a people? Have you seen how we have gone backwards? Can you not see how we have not advanced? Go on about your business, miss say. Anyway, globalists, thank you all for being here with us this morning. Very angry. Not with just leadership in our country, but with the people who has just drawn sheet. Draw sheet and gone to bed. We could have slapped them. We could have thrown cold water in them face. We could have hold their nose. Then just let them so. Just so. Anyway, join us back tonight for the people's point of view. Good morning and good afternoon.
Too long in our little ghetto, run keep going on, less process. For children of Israel do really love rights. So just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I should never hold thy peace. What wrong is going on? Hey, oh, we gotta bust down Babylon walls. Prepare the way. Prepare the way for your people. Let's go. Fight down war and crime. Fight down war and crime. Me say Rastafari. of righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, Jah Rastafari, and we love Jah, Jah Rastafari, save all people. And we love Jah, we love Jah, Jah Rastafari, we love Jah, Jah Rastafari, preserve all people. Put time away again. Listen, yeah. Just as I and I as a watchman, I run Babylonian walls. Oh, children of Israel, I and I should never hold thy peace, while we penalize. Hey, oh, night. We gonna bust down Babylon gates. Prepare the way, prepare the way for Jah Rastafari. Fight down war and fight down war and fight. Rastafari, war and crime, and build up righteousness. And we love Jah, and we love Jah, and we love Jah Rastafari, preserve all. And we love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah, Jah Rastafari. Me love Jah, Rastafari, preserve all. Me love Jah, Rastafari. Jah Rastafari. Yeah, the next song is going to be the last song for tonight. And then DJ Twink.
If you don't like missing out on the latest shows but still enjoy classic hits, then Global TV Group 358 is your perfect match. Global TV Group 358 isn't just another channel, it's your ultimate TV experience. From breaking news to binge-worthy dramas and timeless classics, we've got it all. Our unique blend of original content and global favorites means there's something for everyone. And guess what? With GTVG's seamless streaming, you can watch anywhere, anytime. Plus, our interactive features let you be part of the action. So, whether you're a seasoned binge watcher or a casual viewer, Global TV Group 358 is here to keep you entertained day and night. Don't just watch TV, experience it with Global TV Group 358. Subscribe now and never miss a moment.